When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hi guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. If you like this type of content, smash the like button and subscribe for future videos and updates that I do post on my community tab frequently. If you want to get access to any of my early content, check out the Discord. This is the bargain between an evil god and a villain, part 4. Before we begin, I want to tell everyone have a good 4th of July. The ones who do celebrate it, of my American viewers. I know my viewers are like spread out from different countries, so not the 4th is not only American holiday. So, but regardless, hope you guys have a nice 4th of wherever you find yourself living in. Alright, now let's get this started, shall we? Izuku appeared in his room as he came out of the swirling teleportation, a bit dizzy from the trip, as he leaned his hand against the desk. Sorry about that. First-timers traveling through that method. Takes time for them to adjust to the dizziness. You'll get used to it. Once Izuku composed himself and got out of his villain gear and hid it underneath one of the floorboards under his bed, alongside with his skull mask. That definitely didn't go the way I wanted it to. That definitely didn't go the way I wanted it to. Indeed, that pro hero in that woman was a interesting surprise. For the first time in his life, Izuku felt excited, like he was actually alive, as he has a massive grin on his face that looked straight up pure evil. Despite the outcome, I could sense you had enjoyed yourself immensely. Far from being enjoyment at this point from this whole situation. I've never felt a rush like that. Tonight might not have not gone my way, but I learned something far more important. Villain, me, how intriguing. I think I'm going to continue on this path, being what they call a villain. What about you, Zelik? Any concerns? Not in the slightest. I approve. Good, but that woman tonight, she was good. She clearly outclassed me. I would have to agree with you that woman you fought tonight was on a completely different level. Training would be advised before further actions. Agreed. Look at you being all helpful and all. Don't get used to it. Having you die too soon would be too boring. I'm highly enjoying myself in this dimension, watching this whole thing play out. Don't expect me to help like that. I did tonight, as a common occurrence. Just keep in mind, and don't forget, pick out one of those nifty little villain names for yourself. I'm quite curious of what you'll pick for yourself. Izuku was going through different names in his mind on what his villain persona is going to be. Not even Zelik. Zelik retreat back into his shadow. Izuku went to his bed and continued his life like nothing happened. Izuku quickly found his very daily and repeatable life to be dull and boring compared to the excitement and how alive he felt on that night. But he played his role acting like the innocent, kind-hearted, but serious student to perfection. If the whole villain thing doesn't work out for Izuku, he could always fall back on acting. He clearly has the skills to do so. But right now, Izuku has to pay attention to the documents that he has to read and sign from the student council. Everyone has gone home already, so he's only one in the student council room where they hold their meetings and other activities. Why do you keep exposing yourself to these torturous and boring normal life? We could be doing so much more fun, causing mass chaos. Don't get me wrong, I would love to go out, like I did that night, on a daily occurrence. But I'm nowhere near ready to embrace this new path. The path of this villain path I've set myself on. Keeping the heroes and the other certain factions that would want to cause me harm. I want to keep them unaware of my existence as much as possible. But I have come up with a good persona name. Oh, really now? And what are you going to call yourself? You got me intrigued. I had a couple of names that crossed my mind, but I decided to use something with my bone mask. Think of it as a calling card. I will be known as Grim. Grim, you say, like that Grim Reaper, the Angel of Death. Interesting. I like it. Very well. I approve of this name, Grim. And the name works well with your mask and the whole bone manipulation you got going for you. It fits you. How long are we going to endure this normal and boring routine? Hopefully not for very long. I'll continue my training while everything cools down. We did stir the pot a little bit. The heroes in that gang we attacked are still on high alert, most likely looking for me. But was it wise to expose yourself like that? You don't have to worry about that. Why would I care about what ants think? What is an ant compared to a god? Their knowledge of my existence doesn't pose a threat, not in the slightest. I might be weakened, but I'm strong enough to massacre everyone on this pitiful planet. Only reason I haven't done so, because it would be too boring. A short time excitement. It's just not worth it. I'm in no hurry to gain my full power. I'm enjoying myself. Very well. Once things cooled off a tad bit, I'll continue my villain activities. After all, I have some unfinished business with that gang and with that Leon fella. Yes, you were quite eager to kill him, if I recall. I didn't think you hate anyone. It's not about like or hate, Zelik. He needs to die, out of principle. I hate leaving things undone. Loose ends and all that. That needs to be severed. As he signed the last piece of paper and began to put everything in their place and lock up and begins to head home. What about the hero? I haven't decided yet if I'm going to kill him or not. I'll need to encounter him a few more times to see if he could be added to my amusement. And if he doesn't match up to your standards, then he'll be dealt with like the rest. Trust me, Zelik. Just be patient. The good old days where we don't have to do this daily normal routine is fast approaching. What about your birth giver, your father, and that woman you call mother? The old man could be dealt with no issue, and my mother, I'm going to have to handle that delicately, very delicately. Well, I can't even pronounce stuff right now, apparently. Very cautiously. I have a feeling my dear old mother has been hiding many things that I'm unaware of. Of course, I'm not as innocent either. I'm her son after all. And it seems like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. At least at the surface level. Know that carrying act, that woman's facade, is all fake. I know when I see a predator. And that woman's the alpha predator. I could smell the blood off of her. Not, regardless of my mother's behavior, or her whole facade. If she actually cares or not, that's not in question, nor do I care. But if she becomes a problem, I will unfortunately have to kill her myself. Quite bold of you. You would actually kill your own mother? If she became a problem, yes. I would not enjoy it, but it would have to be done. It would be a necessary evil to continue forward. Let's just hope it doesn't come to that, Zelik. I care about my mother a great deal. It would be unfortunate if I had to strike her down. The background of the school building begins to fade, disappear in the distance, as Izuku continued down his way, walking down the street, heading in a direction to his house. On his way, Izuku saw some suspicious men driving and exiting out, entering the boundaries of a warehouse. Well, a bunch of warehouses. On his way home, he saw, well, like I said, he saw some suspicious people entering and exiting out of the warehouse. So Izuku was intrigued. So he decided to follow them through the front gate of the warehouse. Izuku immediately jumped onto the ladder that's attached to the water tower and begin to ascend up the metal ladders so he could get a better view of the entire boundaries of the warehouse complex he found himself in, and watched suspicious men begin to load up crates into several different black vans with black tinted windows. Izuku might be on the water tower, but he could still hear them. Hear them in pieces. Not full conversations, but only parts. They're clearly speaking Japanese. As an older man exit the warehouse with short blonde hair, wearing camouflage pants and a black tank top muscle shirt, as another figure came walking out the warehouse. As Izuku could hear their footsteps, revealing a blonde woman that had her hair in long pigtails, with a smirk on her face, wearing almost like a Chinese dress, as a spike chain mace, or Morningstar, appeared in her hands, and slammed the Morningstar into the ground, getting all the grunts to move faster. Interesting. That might be so, but I can tell they're dangerous, at least for human standards. They're definitely not heroes. Possibly villains from another country. I've seen enough. Let's get going, Zelik. As Izuku hop off the water tower in the opposite direction, so he wouldn't get spotted, and left the compound of the warehouse unnoticed. The moment Izuku hopped off the tower, Apex stared at the water tower, as she swears she thought she saw someone up there. What are you looking at, sister? You're being a little too jumpy. Even if someone was up there, they're gone now. Don't be a fool, brother. It might have been a hero. Hero? Don't make me laugh. That wouldn't be issue, even if there was a hero here. They're no All Might. They could easily be crushed. What are you guys doing? Stop gawking there and get back to work. And get these weapons loaded onto the vans. We need to get these weapons loaded onto the ship, like yesterday. If you need a little bit motivation, if the vans are not loaded in the next 2 hours, I'll be using my Morningstar on you guys, all of you, as target practice. As she's referring her weapon, her Morningstar, a spike chain mace that she can create, that she can make with her quirk. Apex quirk is a combination between a weapon creation quirk with a super strength quirk factor. It's a small factor of her quirk, but it gives her enough power behind her fist in case she can't use her weapon. Sometimes how easily you could find trouble wherever you go. That might be so, but it makes life far more interesting, wouldn't you agree? I'll just observe them for now. Things are a little too hot right now for me to continue to operate as Grim, but that doesn't mean I can't keep an eye on them. Izuku created several small Gaster blasters to keep an eye on the foreigners. Unfortunately, I need to get home. I have no doubt Mother is already worried. Izuku eventually made it home. It only took him about 15 to 20 minutes to get back to his neighborhood and enter his house. As he took off his shoes at the entrance of this house and placed it to the side of the wall, Izuku stopped into the kitchen, noticing his mother is cooking dinner. There you are. I was getting worried. I wasn't really looking forward to eating dinner alone. Your father is still at work. He won't be back for a couple days. So how was your day, dear? The usual. Inko hasn't forgotten his disappearance in the middle of that night. On that night. But she's keeping her suspicions to herself. For now. The entire time they were eating dinner, Inko was prodding her son for information to see if she could get him to slip up. In her own gentle ways, Izuku easily caught on to what his mother was trying to do, so he kept his answers vague, but not outright denying her what she wanted, and replied in half-truths. After a very interesting dinner with his mother, by playing mind games with each other, he took his leave. He closed the door to his room. I gotta say, that was the most intriguing dinner I've had so far. She definitely suspects something. Not surprising. I probably got my intelligence from her. I'll just have to be more careful. Izuku kept his routine while keeping an eye on the foreigners, using his small gaster blasters to alert him of their actions, where they go, who they talk to. As time progressed, everything has finally cooled down. After 3 weeks, the police department's not outright looking anymore. But that doesn't mean the heroes have given up. Izuku has no doubt he'll come across that hero again, sooner or later. Luckily for him, Izuku has plenty of time to start up his activities as Grimm. And his parents is on a small vacation, just the two of them. So he doesn't have to be so careful. They have clearly already left. Izuku walked into the kitchen and opened the refrigerator, noticing the refrigerator is filled with pre-made food, already made, in the freezer along with the refrigerator. So Izuku had plenty to eat while his mother is on her vacation with her husband. This will make moving around a lot more easier, without that woman breathing down your neck 24/7. I would have to agree with you. Mother's been keeping a closer watch on me than I would like. Regardless, what's done is done. If we're going to start as a villain, as Graham, I need to get myself some money. A nice income would be nice to fund my villain activities. I was thinking I might pay our little foreigners a visit. What I saw through my gaster blasters, they've been smuggling shipments of weapons and other crates. It's all intriguing. I'm quite curious what all they're trying to smuggle. I see what you're thinking. You're going to acquire some of these weapons and sell them. Exactly. Easy money. But do you even know anyone that would buy stolen weapons? It shouldn't be too hard to find a buyer. The city is filled with criminals, villains, and other lowlifes. Greed is not a strictly criminal criminal thing, after all. And I'm quite curious what type of guns they're transporting. But for now, I'll wait. It won't be long before the guns or the sun will begin to fall. We'll be moving on tonight. I think Grim needs to make another appearance. Izuku was sitting on his porch on a chair, drinking his cold beverage while reading a book when the sun finally begins to fall and the moon begins to rise. Izuku calmly shut his book and got up and walked inside and placed his book on the counter in the kitchen and drank the rest of his drink, then proceeded to dump the rest out, the ice, in the sink and rinse off the glass and put it in the dishwasher and head back to his room upstairs slowly. As he removed one of the floorboards under his bed, revealing his villain gear, as he starts to put on his gear and place the black skull mask over his face, there was a slight steen protruding from the mask, signifying the mask is fully setted on his face. No one can take off his mask besides him. Anyone tries, it'll give him a nice little shock. It was a new addition he added to his mask during this entire time he was laying low. Zelik opened a portal. Grim just calmly walked through the shadow portal. As the portal closed behind him, as the portal opened up somewhere in the city, on top of the building, as Grim walked through the portal as it closed behind him, Grim closed his eyes to see what his Gaster Blasters are seeing. That's been spying on the foreigners. The bigger foreigner, aka Muscular, but Grim is unaware of his identity, is at a bar. And the female one is at the warehouse, keeping an eye on things while her brother was away. That makes things a little bit tricky. Just trying to avoid a fight would be useless at this point. I guess I should introduce myself to our new neighbor, personally. Apex was walking around the compound of the large warehouse, bored out of her mind. Her idiot brother is out having fun at the local bar getting drunk while she's stuck here. Apex was interrupted by her inner monologue as she got hit by a large green beam of energy, sending her skidding across the ground. As Grim made his grand entrance, as Grim gave her a mocking bow, then Grim immediately started to speak in Japanese. "Hello, neighbor. I just wanted to say hi. Oh, and before I forget, here's my gift basket for you." With a single snap of his fingers, several large Gaster Blasters materialized all around her, began to circle and float all around her, in a circle basically, as all of them opened fire at the same time, unleashing their powerful beams of energy out of their mouths. When the smoke cleared, Alpha was pissed. Her clothes had burns on it, despite the slight damage on her outfit. Her outfit was specially made to take punishment against fire, energy weapons, and other sharp objects. As she narrowed her eyes, "For damaging my outfit, like you did, I think I'm going to have to punish you." As she created her Morning Star in her hand and charged forward, Grim met her halfway when she swung her chain Morning Star. Izuku had to create a bone shield to absorb majority of the attack from the spike weapon. Apex, noticing the bone shield, she withdrew the chain as the ball spike landed gently on the end of the handle of her weapon. She immediately charged forward, swinging another strike with her Morning Star, breaking through the bone shield as it shattered into pieces. Before she could capitalize, she was kicked in the stomach by Grimm, sending her into a nearby wall of the warehouse building, crashing right into the brickstone wall, smashing into the wall, making it a hole, and smashing into a wooden crate. Grimm casually walked through the hole in the wall that he created using Apex's body, giving him access to one of the buildings of the warehouse. Despite the initial surprise, she reacted instantly and swung her Morning Star at Grimm, forcing Grimm to lean backwards, dodging the Morning Star as it swung by his face, missing him by mere inches, as his wind was blown around from the powerful swing. But before Grimm could initiate another attack, Apex used her Morning Star as a feint by swinging directly at his head. Then she used her free hand to slam her fist into his face, sending Grimm crashing through several wooden crates, one after another, until he finally stopped moving as he slammed into the brick wall. Grimm immediately rolled out of the way as Apex Morning Star came slamming down into the wall and ground where he was once, before he rolled out of the way. Apex Morning Star easily smashed right through the wall and the floor, making an opening and cracking the ground. Grimm hopped backwards a few times to get some distance from Apex. Meanwhile, in the other building of the warehouse, Zelik was opening several portals underneath all the different crates in the different buildings of the warehouse. As the crates of merchandise begin to slowly sink into the black portal, well, shadow portal, basically what it is, transporting all the merchandise into Grimm's little hideout at the abandoned railroad station that he uses to torture people. Grimm wasn't surprised by her pure physical strength. Because of his quirk, Grimm has insane durability. He's nowhere near invincible. This takes a lot more to actually hurt him. But from that last punch, he clearly felt pain. A small sting, but he felt it. He masked his discomfort with a smirk, highly enjoying this whole encounter. Grimm was about to initiate another assault. Then he noticed from one of the destroyed crates he crashed through was filled with grenades. As the grenades slowly rolled to his feet, Grimm's smile even grew larger as he picked it up. Well, what do we have here? Apex could clearly tell what his intentions were, considering this building is filled with grenades and other materials that's highly explosive. You wouldn't dare. Oops! As he pulled the pin and casually tossed the grenade into the broken crate that's filled with grenades. Next to the crate filled with grenades was a couple crates filled with missiles for RPGs. Apex charged forward, trying to grab the grenade that was about to fall in the crate to prevent a chain reaction of explosions to go off. Grim simply blasts her with a large, powerful blast of energy from one of his Gaster blasters, sending her outside of the building. Grim slowly stepped outside. Well, Grim simply stepped backwards into the shadow that Zelik made. Then when the portal reappeared, he's outside the building. As the building went up in smoke as the explosion went off, catching other buildings on fire. Apex finally got her bearings together from the loud explosion and got off the ground as she growled, seeing the burning building. Clearly was being burned by the explosion. And some of the other buildings were caught on fire as well. She immediately ran to the other buildings to see if she could save any of the other merchandise, only to see they're all gone. She ran to another building, same thing. All the crates were gone. Nothing was left. As she stormed through another warehouse building, she saw a burnt image on the ground of a skull, and only thing underneath the skull was the simple word, Grim. As she activated her Morning Star, and appeared in her hands as she slammed it into the ground, breaking the concrete. As she screamed out, "Grim, you bastard, you're gonna pay for this." As she repeatedly slammed her Morning Star into the ground, breaking the cement even further. As she composed herself, after venting out her anger, and ran her fingers through her long blonde hair. At least I know what that bastard name is. So I know who I'm hunting down. Brothers are not going to be happy. Emma has already retreated. About time she exited the warehouse. As Grim stepped out of the shadow portal that appeared in one of the rooms inside the underground base of operation of the abandoned train station, filled with different type of crates. Excellent work, Zelik. It was only a simple matter, Grim. Zelik was not even interested in what's inside the crates. He only wanted to stick it to another human. So he didn't mind helping out this time around. Now let's see what we have to work with. As he kicked the lid off one of the crates, to see inside the crate is filled with loads of unmarked guns. Grim kicked another crate to see all types of different ammunitions, bullets for handguns, ammunition for rifles, sniper rifles. As he kicked another crate was filled with drugs, loads and loads of cocaine. As he checked another crate, only to find components to make C4, dynamite, and the last of the crates, he was surprised, was filled with Trigger, a cork booster drug, highly illegal, even more so in the US. The US government has been trying to stop the large amounts of Trigger that's been smuggling into America for the past couple years. It's a very problematic epidemic in America right now. Oh my, what do we have here? As he picked up one of those small cases inside the crate, as he opened up the metal case, filled with Trigger, as he took a vial out of the case and looked at it. Look at this, it looks like we got more than we bargained for. What is that? What is that vial filled with that liquid? This, my friend, is Trigger, a quirk enhancer, a very illegal drug to boost someone's abilities. It gives you a power boost, but the side effects are pretty harsh. It only takes someone a few times to be completely addicted to this drug, and can boost someone's abilities to insane levels in a short time and period of time. But it also warps the brain. That it only boosts someone's ability to insane level for a short period of time, temporarily boost. But nothing would actually do myself. It's a shortcut for weak people. So you're gonna destroy it? Destroy it? Oh, heavens no. Not like this drug, but there's clearly a market for it. Someone would be willing to pay a good amount of money for just a vial of this stuff. It's basically printing money. I'm gonna sell it, of course. And we got lots of crates of this stuff. That got plenty of merchandise. I don't know who would be willing. I don't know what buyers I'll be able to find, but I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. I don't know who these guys are, or how they got their hands on so much Trigger, and the weapons alongside with the many different types of explosions they have. Many crates filled with dynamite, grenades, and missiles for RPGs, and grenade launchers. And don't forget normal grenades. So a nice steady supply to sell. And their military grade weaponry. Most of it at least. Expert when it comes to selling illegal weapons, but I highly doubt a normal criminal will be able to purchase these things. And the Trigger is another issue altogether. Like you said, these are military grade weaponry. True, your average day criminal wouldn't be able to collect enough money to buy one of these weapons or the more valuable merchandise in my possession. But if there's a market for these things, you just gotta know who to talk to. Last time I checked, you have no contact into the criminal underworld. True, but I plan to fix that. I just gotta make a name for myself. By doing so, I'll make contacts. And those contacts can direct me to the right people to sell some of this merchandise, this military grade base weaponry, and the drugs shouldn't be an issue. Regardless, it's a shame I couldn't see their face when they found out their merchandise was stolen right underneath their feet. Love to see that bitch's face when she found out she was being played the entire time. I mostly agreed to that. Grim started to unload all of the weapons of crates into a more secure room that is meant to hold weaponry. That's locked under a thick metal door that has an eye scanner and a hand scanner, only access to get in. That Izuku made on his spare time, just in case he ever got into the business of selling illegal weapons. It's a good thing he did. Now he has plenty of room to store all this merchandise. After many hours of unloading all of the weapon ammo and different type of equipment that will cause explosions, safely put him in the sealed off room, away from the handguns or any of the firearms, and in a completely separate room. As he transported all the trigger into a separate location in his hideout, behind a false wall that's inside the main office he uses. After placing the many metal crates filled with trigger behind the hidden department behind the false wall, right behind him, and close it up, and pull the bookshelf back into place that's in his office. Once the bookshelf was already in place, covering the false wall, he was satisfied. That took longer than expected, but I should probably head home. Once a shuttle portal was created, Izuku took off his villain equipment and his mask, and put him inside the hidden floorboard under his bed, and got dressed in normal clothes and went to bed for the night. To get some rest, he has a lot of things to do in the morning. And that's where we're going to stop it right there. I'll catch you guys in the next part.